Hi everyone, this is my second book report. I'm going to talk about The Sleeper Wakes by H.G. Wells. I'm gonna call him Wells during the whole book report so we don't get confused, okay? So, um, this, I'm gonna move my camera, sorry, to this place. This place is better. Okay. So, this book, okay, it was written in 1910. There was a first version of this story, but it wasn't that like it wasn't finished. And then Wells expanded the story into the full-length novel. It was first published, as I mentioned before, by Harper and his brothers. Okay, so what is this book about? Okay, this is a story of a Victorian man who falls asleep and wakes up 203 years later, and he finds a very different London and a very different man himself. Okay, so one day in 1897, Graham, a chronic insomniac, decides to take a drug that he hopes will him sleep, and it does. Graham sleeps into a coma, only to wake up in the year 2100. He promptly notices that his waking seems to alarm the people around him, and he clearly they had well, this was because they never expected him to get the conscious again. And I know this is strange. I will continue talking about that. Okay, London is not all the city that he left when he was awake. The city is gleaming steel and glass metropolis with virtually everything was automatized and everything was mechanic. I could maybe use example of the movie Back to the Future. I know that you have watched it sometime, and I don't know if you remember this part where the protagonist goes to the future and sees like this big shark that comes to him, approaches to him, and he gets scared. Well, I imagine that it is kinda like that. And what was that? Okay. Um, Word of Sleepers. Okay, so when he wakes up, all the city suddenly hears the story. So they the people start arriving at his doorstep. Why is this? Because they want to give a look to this legendary man. But why do they want that? Why is he so special? What happened in the last 202 years when he was asleep? Why was he such an icon? The people who surround them will not provide answers. Didn't provide answers. Instead, the police come and arrested him. And in this part, when he gets arrested, is when he learns the truth. Okay, so the truth is this. I'm sorry. After Graham first fell asleep, he inherited, I guess is the word, a huge sum of money in a trust. As he slept, various trusts called the White Council managed the money on his behalf, eventually investing it in a new world order and establishing their own vision of political and social advance. So upon Graham's waking, he is by default the most powerful man in the world. He is kinda the richest man in the world. To simplify this, in a legal perspective, he owns the majority part of the planet. So he owns the majority part of the planet. Of course, the council doesn't want this. They want it benefit for them and not for him, because once he wakes up, he has the money. He is the owner of the money and also the world. The majority part of the world, not the whole world. Okay, so the White Council wants Graham dead. Graham is the protagonist of the book. Um, and it is not surprised. We are not surprised. They attempt to assassinate him, but then a group of people called Revolution. I don't know what was the name, but it was led by Ostrog. I guess is the name of this guy. Tries try helps him. He helps him to escape. Well, that the organization. And at first instance, we don't know why Graham trusts in them, but he does. And Ostrog seems to be a good guy, a guy who tries to help him, tries to explain him the situation and how can handle the situation, but he doesn't. In reality, he just wants to steal. Well, in fact, Ostrog, he is the leader. He is like the boss of this organization, of the council, who wants the money for them and the whole world. Okay. So, okay. Well, this is a story where council wants him dead, and he's trying to escape the whole time. And then he finds out that Ostrog is a bad guy who just wants to steal him his inherit. And in the end, Graham and Ostrog come face to face, or planet to planet, hide in the clouds. Graham launches an attack on him, but the plan crashes. He fails, and he spirals to Earth, defeated by his own Ellie one time, and to fate to leave the world in a hanging limbo, because this was kind of a dream. Everything was not real, or what that's what they that's what Wells wants you to think. What can I say about this book, or about the writer, because it's a very confusing story. I will find it like that. The narrative transformation has ramifications. For example, for Will's hero, whose initial confusion and wonder at the world in which he finds himself contrasts effectively with the introductory chapters set in England, where he falls asleep, and provides such an effective way for reader to engage with the world. You find it very attractive, but it's like a kind of you jumping from one part to another, because, as I said before, it has ramifications. What else can I say? Well, you're supposed to be in this part of my presentation when I was telling this. And well, the sleeper awakes. I would say that it's a good book. I kind of liked it. It was pretty interesting. Or I found it pretty engaging in the first part of the book, but then in the second part I didn't like that at all. I found it pretty hard to understand, actually. As I mentioned before, it was kind of a dream, and it kind of didn't. It kind of wasn't. I think that Wells wasn't able to fully land his ideas across the length of the novel. He fails to add sufficient depth or breadth to his world. That said, I have no doubt that Wells been able to finish it. The sleeper at which will not suffer from any kind of problem like jumping from one part to another, and those situations that confuse the reader. But on the other hand, I think that Wells had, as from what I read from him, is that he had the creativity and the imagination to have finished this book in a very appropriately way. Then I would mention a connection to life that I found about this book, and the most interesting idea that comes to me, that would be the connection to life. It would be the ambition of Ostrog was the name of the bad guy. ambition is not good. I think ambition led him to his ending, to to nothing. Like ambition, there are some kinds of ambitions, and I think there's just the good ambition and the bad ambition, and this guy had the bad ambition. And where you are looking or searching for something in a bad way or doing bad things, it will not end good. So let's not look for richness. Let's not look for everything. Let's just look for what it's good for us and have the things that we can handle, with the things that we know, the things that we can have, the things that we can handle. And that would be my second book report. Thank you for your attention, and goodbye.